the reason why Final Fantasy V, and I'll just roll with it now, that wasn't localized was, again, we were talking about how the Japanese mentality was towards the North American crowd, and it wasn't released here because we were too dumb to get it.
Yeah, to quote Ted Woolsey, it's just not accessible enough to the average gamer. That's from an interview in 1994. They were thinking about releasing the game as Final Fantasy Extreme and targeting it at the more experienced gamers who loved the complex character building. Apparently, Woolsey had most of the game translated, but they decided not to ship it because the US market was not ready for a second flagship RPG, and they needed something else to get people trained on that style of gaming. So what was it that they gave us to train us to be able to understand these so deep and complex RPGs? They gave us Final Fantasy Mystic Quest.
Mystic Quest, yeah, I was going to say, wasn't it Mystic Quest, the kindergarten version of Final Fantasy?
So I liken this to an episode of The Simpsons in which Lisa Simpson meets another girl in school who is gifted, and she's like a genius, and Lisa's so elated because she's finally somebody on my level that I can relate to. And I think that's kind of how a lot of us felt about these games when we grew up with them. You know, yes, I get this gets me, this tells a story in a way that clicks with me, that maybe doesn't click with others. This is for me. Yes, finally something for me. And then in the show, Lisa goes and meets this girl's father, and they're playing a game called Anagrams, where they have to take a name and construct another phrase with the letters in the name. Of course, Lisa fails at this miserably, whereas her new friend and her father are very good at it. And so the girl's father kneels down and pats Lisa on the head and says, "I have a ball. Perhaps you'd like to bounce it." And I feel like that's what Mystic Quest was for us. That was the ball for us to bounce because we didn't quite understand how to play the complicated Final Fantasy V, which, you know, looking at it now, it wasn't that complicated. It just had a job system like 3, but, you know, with a little more of a twist where you could inherit some of the abilities of the jobs you've already learned, which is like basically multi-classing in D&D, more or less, but like a really simplified form of multi-classing. It's not that complicated, but, you know, we were way too stupid to understand it.
Yeah, and it just, I've never quite understood that decision in the first place, but I guess they decided that it...
Thank you for listening to this clip from the Console Kingdom podcast. You can listen to the full episode right now here on our YouTube channel or on your favorite podcasting platform. Links in the description below. Please like this video and subscribe and enable notifications so that you are notified when our next episode goes live. In the meantime, please check out my YouTube channel, Risky Bitness, right here on YouTube. Thank you, and game on.